Hello there viewers, Axel here. Welcome to another Axel Tech video. So, 2 days from today, the day that this is being recorded on a Tuesday, 2 days from now on Thursday, Ubuntu 19.10 will finally be released. It'll come out of beta. Final release will be here. And how many different ways can I say the same thing? The world may never know. So, this video is not the final overview, as you probably guessed by the title. We're going to just be testing some games on it, and only a few, because I don't have a whole lot of games outside of Steam, and I figure there's not a whole lot of point in testing a whole bunch of Steam games, plus some other issues that I'm going to get into in a minute here. So first off, what's important about testing games on it? Some of you may know that prior to the 1910 release, Canonical also announced that they were planning to drop 32-bit packages for Ubuntu 1910, and there was a whole thing with Steam saying they planned to drop support for Ubuntu 1910 because they rely on a bunch of like 32-bit stuff, and there was also Wine. So following that announcement, they then kind of altered plans a bit to where it's like, okay, they're only going to keep a certain selection of 32-bit packages to ensure compatibility with things like Steam and Wine. And for a too long didn't watch version of this video, which is kind of already too late for that, we're like a minute and a half in, games still seem to work just fine, so should not be any worries there. But again, I'm only testing Steam because that's where the majority of my gaming library even is, so cannot really confirm as far as Lutris is concerned. So if someone out there does regularly use Lutris and they want to see if things work fine on Ubuntu 19.10, please feel free to share that information in the comments. But yeah, games are working just fine. So for the rest of this video, I'm just going to kind of launch a few of these to just show that they indeed work just fine. Now, yes, there are only 3 games there. So I have a external hard drive that I would normally use to just hold a bunch of the games so I can have a bunch more ready for testing, but I think it's dying or something because the games just don't want to launch from it. So yeah, I switched over to just using the internal storage on this computer, just the SSD, which only has like 250 gigabytes, and like half of the drive is being used for a Windows partition for literally just one game that I cannot run on Proton that I still play. So that's the situation there. So I don't have a whole lot of space to install a bunch of games on the test machine right now. So we're testing 3. So what's special about these 3? The first 2 are both ports by Feral Interactive. Alien Isolation, I think still uses OpenGL, whereas Rise of the Tomb Raider uses Vulkan, so different graphics APIs there. I figured that would be a good thing to test. And then Subnautica runs through Proton, so that's still Vulkan, but it's also Proton, so kind of Wine stuff, although I guess in that situation, that part is bundled in with Steam anyway. I like Subnautica, so I wanted to test it anyway. Whatever, let's just go top down. So, Alien Isolation. And it's going to tell me that my graphics driver is not supported because it's AMD and this was an older port, I guess. It works just fine, though. Some graphics settings are a little off, but it works just fine. Alright. Yay, unskippable intro movie stuff. Meh. Alright, play game. Alien Isolation. Continue game. Yay for Steam cloud saves. Now I do have the FPS counter in Steam available, but it's kind of tiny, so you probably can't read it because I'm not going to zoom in on it, but it's there. So yeah, frame rate is still good, as you would expect. It's higher if I look this way, but that's probably because there's nothing going on over there. It's like 80 that way, but then like 40s over here. So Alien Isolation is a game where you want to move around stealthily and quietly so as to not alert the alien. Since this is just a brief test anyway, I am very tempted to just run through here and trigger it, just for fun. but I don't think I'm going to do that. But he's there. He is there. Fun fact, this save is what's picking up from the last time that I played this game on the channel. Because I used to bother doing gaming videos. So the latest episode of Alien Isolation, this save right now is actually picking up from where I left off in that series. Because I died. You know, he's right above me and there's a vent, like, over there. I think that's an opening. So, yeah, that's fun. Okay. But yeah, unofficial continuation of that Let's Play. Woohoo! It's probably never coming back full time. Never say never, though. If I do come back to it for real, it'll probably just be, like, on stream or something. Ripley's knees are gonna be horrible after. Oh. I heard something ticking and I thought it was, like, spit dripping for a second, but there was no vent above me, so that was confusing. Do you guys hear something rumbling? That might just be outside. I don't know. Okay, how do I do? Well, if we turn off vent access... Let me out. Well, no, vent access would be like the floor vents that go between rooms, not like the ones that keep the alien out, so that's not happening. You know, I would honestly feel better if he would just come out of the vents instead of trudging along inside, but not actually coming out, because then you don't know when he's going to. But if he's already out and walking around, you know he's already out and walking around, and you're not anticipating it, which is exactly why they do that. Go around so noisily. He's like right above me. He probably knows I'm here. Because, you know, even though they don't have eyes, they just have all those other senses where if you're looking right at him, he knows. Trust me, I have a clip of that. Where I frantically screamed, "They're not blind!" Ah! And then promptly died. Okay. So, Alien Isolation works. Time to wuss out. Alright, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Alien Isolation was, I think, OpenGL. Rise of the Tomb Raider is definitely Vulkan. And, unlike Alien Isolation, which goes to show the age of Alien Isolation, Rise of the Tomb Raider has the Pharaoh launcher. That's going to yell at me about CPU governor, because there's no... Well, I'd have to manually add game mode in Ubuntu. I think Pop! OS ships Pharaoh game mode. Not sure. Somebody let me know if they know the answer to that. Does Pop! OS have feral game mode in the repo? Because I know Fedora does. Other distros that I'm not thinking of probably do. Does Solus? I feel like Solus might. Ubuntu proper does not, though. Yet more reasons that Pop! OS is a fantastic derivative of Ubuntu. I will be looking at Pop! OS after that comes out as well, but since they don't do beta images, I can't really long-term test that yet. So, anyway, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Hooray, working just fine. Okay, now, here's the thing that bugs me with Rise of the Tomb Raider. Frame rate is clearly, like, averaging around 60. This doesn't feel like 60 as I move my mouse around, though. Like, it just feels sluggish, even though it's technically staying at like 60 FPS. So bothersome. Hold on, I need to look at the options then, because that bugs me. Speaking of, though, I was also going to comment that games in general seemed to... What the hell's mouse smoothing? I don't know what that is. It sounds like something that would not be preferable. You know what? That feels better. We're leaving that off. Okay. Anyway, I was going to comment that like games are also seeming to run better on this than they did on my main machine. And then I thought about it, and that makes sense because the main machine has a 1440p monitor. This is a 1080p. So, yeah, that makes sense. Alright. Jump for it! Oh, God! Are we climbing around? What are we doing? What am I doing? What did that do?
That did it.
Did what? What were we doing? Are we climbing that? We're climbing that. Okay. Cool. This way. I guess let's keep going up. That was a rock. Not to be confused with the rock, I think. Why did you go left? Oh, God. I was holding forward, in no way pressing left. Why did you jump left, Laura? Oh, God. Okay. Let's try it again, shall we? Okay. Going left. And stop going left. Go up now. There we go. Okay, let's use you. Wait. How do I... Oh, I just hold left. Okay. The complete opposite of what I was trying to do to get up here. Perfect. Okay. Do I... What? Oh, okay. Got it. So I let that go down, then I need to hurry over there and jump to the thing as it's coming back up. Got it. Okay, let go. Lara. Okay, we need to... No, let go. Oh my God. Okay, now let go. Why do you take so long to let go, Lara? Come on, speed is of the essence here. What the fu- Well, that didn't work. Hold on. Oh, good. Now we're down here again. But, okay. And now for the best example of an early access game done right, Subnautica. Which basically runs flawlessly on... Oh, I guess we can just load that file. Which basically runs flawlessly through Proton, which is fantastic because it is one of the better indie games on the market. Does it count as an indie game? Does it? I don't know if it counts as an indie game. And I guess it's an indie game. Either way, it's great. If you like survival... I was gonna say survival horror. The horror really comes in from the depths of the ocean. But, I don't know. I don't consider it a horror game, but other people kind of do because, like, the whole fear of the ocean thing. Either way, if you're into that, fantastic game. More survival than horror, though. So, yeah. Runs perfectly. I guess something I should have also mentioned towards the beginning would have been I am using an AMD graphics card, so I cannot verify that if things work just fine on NVIDIA. So if you're an NVIDIA user, I really can't help you, unfortunately, if you do run into problems. But Speaking of NVIDIA users, though, they do have the benefit of 1910 now including the proprietary driver on the ISO, so that should make things better for NVIDIA users, although I can't verify that myself, but many other people can, because NVIDIA graphics cards are still the most used, so shouldn't be too hard to find people who can test that. Alright. Okay, speaking of stuff, I should probably have I should have done this sooner. Future self, edit this to also be shown before the start of the game testing, because this is important information. System specs. We'll just pop up NeoFetch. And this for an alternate view. There you go. Got a Ryzen 5 1400, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and a Radeon RX 570 graphics card with 4 gigabytes of VRAM. There we go. That's what this system is running. Kind of similar to my main machine. The main machine has a Ryzen 7 and similar graphics card, but with 8 gigs of VRAM instead. Anyway, that's this system. So that mostly covers the game testing. One more thing I did want to show, though, is that all three of those games... Let me go ahead and log out. So that was all done in the default Xorg session, but all three games do also run under Wayland. And I feel like that's something to show, because it's Wayland. Let's see here, just to XDG session type Wayland. Open Steam. Now again, this is just a very small selection of games that I'm testing here, so I don't imagine that every game will work on Wayland just the same as it does on Xorg, but the three that I somewhat randomly chose here do work. So that's good to know. At least I think it's good to know. What with all the jokes over the years of like, where the hell is Wayland? Just getting there. Which is good. I mean, for that matter, DaVinci Resolve can actually run under Wayland. I don't know if I've shown that in a video yet, but it actually can run under Wayland. Or wait, I might have shown that when I did one of my DaVinci Resolve videos. I can't remember if I only showed that on Twitter or not, but I think that might have been in one of the videos, actually, where I had that running on Wayland. Which is kind of surprising, considering it's a bigger, like, third-party app. But yeah, actually launched and ran under Wayland. I don't know if I tried any actual editing or rendering while on Wayland, but, well, that'd probably be a smart thing to test. So yeah, Alien Isolation on Wayland. Hooray. I guess one of the issues with, like, gaming on Wayland versus Xorg is having to worry about performance issues because of, like, X-Wayland or something. So I don't know how much of that's going to apply. Let's see what performance looks like. So, still same in that direction, and still same in that direction. So, from just a staring at the FPS counter test, Alien Isolation seems to perform the same under Wayland as it does under Xorg. Alien, come down and fight me, you... coward! He is in the ceiling vents, not these ones, right? Didn't I have a flashlight? Yeah. Yeah, that's open. Oh, that looked like it was closed from a distance. Okay, that was just that closing. We're just gonna go back over here now. Just gonna hide in the corner, forget all my problems, and avoid them. Oh god, is he coming down? Oh, maybe? I don't know. Okay. Okay, and Rise of the Tomb Raider, which, you know, I think I am noticing some performance difference because again, it's like technically it's saying it's at 60 FPS, but it still feels, it doesn't feel smooth even though it's 60 FPS. And like, let me just double check that mouse smoothing is off. Yeah. Okay, so that'd be one example of maybe not so much frame rate being lower, but frame time, perhaps. Yeah. Also, speaking of, like, another thing with 1910, so it ships GNOME 3.34, and I'm kind of surprised how fluid the shell remains while games are running. Like, I remember before, it would not remain this fluid while games were open and, like, active, because, you know, games are, of course, graphically intensive, and usually it would noticeably slow the shell down. Not as much the case with 3.34. That's really nice to see. And finally, Subnautica. You know, the argument could probably be made, like, I could have just tested these, shown them on Wayland from the start instead of also doing the default Xorg test, but let's be honest, most of you are going to just use the default Xorg session because why would you have any reason to switch over to Wayland unless you know what you're doing? So. Then for those who do know what they're doing, and maybe want to test Wayland, rest assured, at least some of your games may work. All three of the ones I'm testing here did, which is a small sample size. But I lack both time and storage space to do much better than that. Because the only other alternative would be putting the Ubuntu 19 beta on my, or 1910 beta on my main machine, but you're gonna have to give me a pretty big bribe to rip out my elementary OS install at this point. Okay, and Subnautica. So again, frame rate is still good. I feel like I'm kind of noticing a similar less smoothness like I did with Rise of the Tomb Raider. I don't know if that's like coming across on video or not, but it just kind of, like, something about it just doesn't seem as smooth as the high frame rate would suggest it is, you know? I also don't remember if it was actually like that on the Xorg session or not either. Probably should have been paying more attention. I was distracted because yay, Subnautica, that's my excuse. But okay, gaming, working just fine on Ubuntu. Where the hell is my life? How did I get way over here? Oh god. So there you go, some quick, simple game testing on Ubuntu 19.10. Which again, mostly wanted to do that because of concerns with like Steam stuff and whatnot when they said they were going to drop 32-bit packages. So it seems that the stuff that they decided to keep is enough for Steam gaming. Again, I don't really have a good test case for like through Lutris and stuff. I mean, technically I have Origin games, but then we just kind of circle back to the lack of storage space to work with. So yeah, I would have liked to do more thorough game testing, but I don't have the means to do so right now. Hopefully, when we get around to the 2004 release, things will be better in that situation. So that's going to be all for this video, for this not super thorough, probably not the most interesting game testing thing. The main Ubuntu 19.10 overview video is probably not going to be out on Thursday, but Ubuntu 19.10 itself does come out Thursday. I will try to get the video done and wrapped up, hopefully not too long after that, hopefully at the latest the week after. Hopefully not a full week after, but yeah, it'll probably be a couple days before I get the overview video out. I'm going to tell you right now, I did not have as much time to thoroughly test it as I wanted to. I mentioned on Twitter that I was going to go for more of a actually in use approach rather than my usual first impressions approach, which is probably going to have some people asking, why the hell is it still the default wallpaper then? That is just because I chose to keep it the default wallpaper. That's all. because I like how it looks. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. Hope you guys found this entertaining. Till next time, this has been Axel. Thank you guys for watching. If you would like to support the channel and what I do, you can do so via the support link in the description below. If not, that's fine too. See you guys in the next one. Take care.